Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z,
And I'm Keith.
and we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we add humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show. He preferred romances with young black and Latinx men and felt such a kinship with blackness and brownness that in his own journals he would decry racial injustice and mused that surely he could not be white inside.
Oh, good. Cool. It's not a fetish.
Yeah, no.
Or it's not it's not bad.
I don't want to kink shame, but
Oh my god.
that was a quote about Keith Haring.
Who provided the
The chair sculpture,
the chair and her
which
body
apparently
paint.
was a cast of Dolph Lundgren.
But also her body paint.
Her body
right?
paint, yeah.
Wow, this movie. Wow.
Wowzer.
When it started, I thought it was going in a completely different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then it immediately is like psych. And then it goes in almost the opposite direction and manages never to disappoint. Like, I was honestly like so shocked at how many things that, I mean, they just kept going with it. Like, it didn't stop. At any point, they were like, no, we'll just keep, I mean, every little detail, they didn't have to go as hard as they did. And they said, fuck it. We're going to make this, the kid.
The little girl.
Oh my God. Every scene with her.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. And where she bites the guy's arm and he's swinging her around.
And it goes on forever.
Oh my God. And then when she lunges at Snowball or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Okay, so the albino gang, not vampires?
No,
Okay.
they are not vampires.
Okay, thank you.
The other day when I was trimming my nails, I cut into the quick on a couple nails.
Ouch.
Somehow. So my nails hurt. I'm having a bad day.
You need to turn that upside down smile.
You need to turn that upside down smile into a frown. You need to turn that upside down smile into an upside down frown.
Frown town.
So, like, the premise is that these two college kids, to get out of their perfectly soundproof dorm room, they want to, like, get into this fraternity that is insisting that they have one chance to get into the fraternity, and they're asking them to provide a stripper for a party that they're having.
Which is an idea they come up with.
Right.
Themselves. AJ does, right?
I think so.
After they say, fuck this ritual.
Yeah.
This bullshit ritual where you pretend to hang us.
Yeah.
While you're in robes and...
Yeah. Voice of the recording provided by Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they
What's his Klingon character? Like Krang or whatever?
yeah, something like that. I don't remember. Kang or Crane? No, whatever.
Koloth.
Yeah.
Kor.
Cool.
Koloth, Kor, and who's the third one? I never remember. I can never remember all three
It's
at once.
Kang, I think, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So they don't have like a car
Right.
or any money, so they find like
Also, they're out in the middle of nowhere, or like, what do
Right.
they say? Civilization is 200 miles away or something
Right,
like that?
yeah.
200 miles. Whatever.
so they find this nerdy guy who is desperately in need of friends but is loaded. And
I love it.
It's so good.
I love this trope of a guy that...
He's like, "Can I call you guys?" Fucking
It's every tech bro
yeah, right.
since
Yeah.
forever.
But when he's like, "Can I call you guys?"
It'll be a pleasure helping you guys out. Can I call you guys? Great.
That oh my god.
So funny.
But then at the end when it's he's like, "Guys, fuck. Oh my god. So fucking funny."
Getty Watanabe or whatever his name is.
Yes. And I feel bad because I was like, I saw him and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Long Duck Dong." I was like, "Oh my god."
I know.
And then I'm like, I feel like such a monster because like I know that was like an extremely racist, horrible thing,
Yeah.
and even everyone says like this is awful, that was the name of the character, but he was also in Gung Ho. And he's just, I get excited to see,
He's great. And he
Yeah.
was great. It was amazing in this.
so good. Like what I liked so much is that you said like he's not very convincing, but I think what it is like he was able, like his character was supposed to be annoying
Yeah.
and he was able to play it as like humorous to where you didn't get sick of him by the end. And
Right,
I'm like the ability to do that,
very impressive.
insane.
Like
Because
you kind of like him.
yes, he was repetitive. He said, he was doing all the things that you're not supposed to do when you're hanging out with your friends or going to a place. Like he was just like the
Like the
most.
deal he makes is be my friend for a week.
Yeah.
And you can use my car.
But
me
you have
hang
to
out with
take,
you?
yeah, you have to take me with you wherever you go, but like you can use my car while you do it. But he also has like a bunch of money, so he's paying for a bunch of stuff. And like, yeah. So they go to this I love how they get to the
Oh,
town
yeah.
where they're going to. So they find this strip club that like doesn't open until sunset, right? Yes, sunrise is when it comes up. Sunset is when it goes down.
We cracked it.
I get a little confused sometimes.
Well, first they go to that diner where they encountered...
No.
Oh.
Before that,
Oh.
they find the article for the strip club, and they're like, "We'll go here."
Oh.
and then like on
is
their
that what happens?
Yeah, and on their way, they almost get into an accident.
Yeah.
And then the car like spins out and it just keeps
Forever.
spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And I was at the point where I was like, I'm going to have to stop watching
Yeah.
because it's making me queasy. And then suddenly their car like stops and they're on an abandoned street. There's no one around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this. I was like, this is like this is absurdity, but it's also like indicative of like the change of like it's letting you know that things have changed.
Right.
Like, and I was like,
We're not in
brilliant.
Kansas
Yeah.
anymore.
So they go to this diner, and as soon as the sun goes down, the guy,
Wait, but Maven or whatever her name is has fangs. That's with Snowball.
I don't think she has fangs. I think she just is supposed to have. Well, they said she had 3 teeth. That's what they said. Right.
When they say that?
When they're getting in the fight or whatever. Because I thought
There
the
was
same
a
thing.
reveal.
No, I know, But then I thought that was like, oh, they're gonna. But I think it was like
They ordered 6 coffees.
right. Vampire wouldn't drink any coffee.
Because of the silver content.
Yep, because of the colloquial silver.
We call it silver. That's not really its name.
God, there's so much in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
I mean, I feel like it's... I don't know what the budget was. I assume it was next to nothing. But it feels like a master class in how to make things look good even though you have no money.
Right. The lighting throughout the film,
Come on.
insane. Like, normally you see a scene lit that way in a film. The entire film almost is lit this way. Love it. Everything...
Pink and green? 2 colors that don't exist anymore.
Right. And it's just like so, I don't know, it's so good. There's so many like they do like not a bait and switch, but they really kind of get you with like surprises and
Absolutely.
like basically what happens is once they get to the club, they slowly but surely realize that it's a vampire club.
Right.
And there's like this whole like they do good with like the mythos and all that stuff. Like they have like single guys night basically where you're encouraged to come. Like the deal is you pay $1 for as many drinks
Unlimited
as you,
drinks.
Yeah. But you have to come alone.
Right.
And and like you were like $1 for you're like, come on. I was like, babe, they're vampires. Like they would have.
Sorry, I was so dense during this movie. I was like, oh, there's not going to be any bullets in it. He's like, look for some bullets.
Keith kept doing that. And this is a thing that Keith will do that I think is very funny, but I also don't know because sometimes you'll talk over the part where it is given an explanation.
Right.
And then I'll be like, yes, they said that, but you were complaining that they hadn't said that, so you missed it, you know.
Classic.
But like they'll pick something up and there is no time for like by the time it registers what they have, Keith's like, oh yeah, well these are all the 3 reasons why that wouldn't work. And then they'll be like, oh, this probably won't work because of these 3 reasons. And then Keith's like, well, okay. Hold on to it a little bit longer.
I'm always fair when I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you for answering that question. I wasn't complaining, by the way, when I said there's not going to be any bullets in that.
Sorry.
That wasn't a complaint.
It was a bitch. No. Just to be a bitch. Oh, man.
But I am turning into that elderly person.
Yesterday, when we were walking, and the old guy started talking to us while we were walking, and it was both of our nightmares. Because he's just like, it's like, it's a nice day out. Fine. That's fine. That's a fine thing to say. And then he's like, when? And we're walking away actively, and we're like, what? Like, and then just continues to talk at the same level, no matter how far away we get. And we're just like, and then some random guy sneezed, and then some random person said, bless you. And then he said, thanks. And I laughed hysterically.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. And then I said, hey, if I ever get to that point, referring to the old man, I was like, please murder me. If I just start trying to quietly talk to strangers passing by, please just put me out of my misery. I don't want to be here in that form. And you said your your tolerance for what you would put up with for yourself has gotten so low. You said someone walks too slow at the grocery store. You're like, no, I'm not.
I never want to be that.
I'm not getting there. Oh, that's so fucking funny to me. Because you know those those like zombie movies when somebody gets bit and they hold out telling anyone till the very last minute. You're like, oh guys, I I got bit. Someone shoot me in the fucking head right now.
Yeah.
I wish that they never show the people like that, but they're guaranteed are people that are like, I'm going to go out there and just get bit real quick because I don't really want to do this running around thing. So you can shoot me. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're not going to shoot me, I'm just going to
you
run.
just skip the biting. I mean,
Well, yeah, but sometimes, they'll do the thing where they're like, I'm not going to do it, man. They're like, I'm going out there. I'm going to.
oh, I see.
I'm gonna,
I see.
if you don't do it, I'm going to. God. Anyway. So, one of the dudes, they...
AJ, by the way, that actor was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Is AJ a gay?
Not in Nightmare. He's the...
No, I
he's
know.
like the
I
butch.
mean in IRL.
Oh, I doubt it. I don't know. Fuck, how do I know?
I don't know.
Shit.
Google. I always just say... I always Google, is so-and-so gay? Is that not...
Is that not appropriate? Oh my god. His IMDb bio.
Oh, yeah. He wrote that.
Or his people.
No, he doesn't have people. He ain't the type. He ain't the type to have people. Yeah, so...
Robert enjoys surfing, snowboarding, motocross, golfing, traveling, and his newfound love creating and writing projects for which he, for projects which he would like to produce and direct in the future.
He wrote that himself. There's no way he didn't. I'll bet you one painted toenail that he...
Oh, he's in Weird Science also?
Oh. Anyway, basically, the whole place becomes... AJ gets escorted back because he wants to try to hire a stripper. I don't know what I was literally going to say script. What? He's hiring a script. When that shit happens, when you just say something, it just comes out and you're like, who was she? Who would play her?
You were possessed by the Horla.
So he immediately, this is what surprised me, immediately devoured by Katrina, played by Grace fucking Jones.
Who I didn't even know was in the movie.
Right.
Until
because I said there was something that made me want to see it.
Right.
And I was like, is this the one that has Grace Jones in it? Or is that a different? I was like, I can't remember. And I didn't want to say that. And then you'd be like, oh shit. And then it doesn't have Grace Jones in it. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking of. So that's why I realized, I was like, that's fucking Grace Jones. I'm like, we're watching this. And then I forgot, anyway, whatever. And I can't remember how I came across it. I don't remember if that's something where, I don't remember if I saw it on one of the lists of must see, films with black films or must see vampire films or just good horror films from the 80s or 90s. This is where I usually find any sort of...
Yeah, right. Same.
Yeah. So she eats him and then...
She doesn't eat him.
Well, she eats his neck. She eats his neck out and then...
Did you see that?
Yeah.
She actually punctured him.
Hot. Wouldn't you? Yeah, that's a scar from when Grace Jones bit me on the neck while she was playing a vampire. I would just masturbate to that for the rest of my life. I wouldn't need pornography.
I'm sure he scarred himself in his pants.
He puked his pants from the front.
Probably a puke pant.
hate myself. So, oh, yeah. So basically what happened was AJ went in first to the strip club, and then he said he was there by himself. And then the two friends end up going in later.
Yeah,
and nobody
Duncan's
knows
like, "Fuck that
Yeah,
shit.
Duncan's like, I'm not
I
going to.
paid for adventure."
Yeah, right. He's like, I'm not going to fucking sit outside of a fucking strip club. Like, that's really stupid.
Wait a minute. This isn't fair. We come out here all the way and I don't even get a chance to watch. I think I should have a say in the selection.
You can interview her in the car.
No way. One for all and all inside, I say. Ta-ta.
Duncan, don't do that.
6 coffees.
So they go inside, but they don't interact with each other. Like Duncan and Keith are just like hanging out. Keith. And I'm Duncan. You're Keith, but I'm definitely the Duncan of this. Just getting smashed on a single beer and
Miller High Life.
yeah, getting completely trashed on Miller High Life, and then talking to every stripper that I see. 100% would be me.
Do you like fingering?
But
shout out to the dancers, though. I mean, shout out. I mean, props.
Shout out. I mean, for real, no cap. Shout out to the dancer.
Dead ass.
And that's on
Truth.
period.
Dot. Org. I know. I was saying the wrong thing on purpose. It's called doing a thing that's humorous.
Oh. You don't usually do that, so I wasn't prepared.
That's keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting down, so try again.
You try again. You're bad at ballet.
No, I know, but that's because I'm disabled, so. I used to be able to, I've gained some weight, so I don't, it's harder to do now, but I used to be able to, I'm not kidding, stand like, I'd curl my toes under and I'd just stand directly. Yeah, like I just stand on my fully.
That's not good. Don't do that.
I didn't say it was good. I just said I could do it. And also, I said I've gained some weight,
Stop
so I
doing
can't
it right
do
now.
it anymore.
Please quit doing
I
it.
tried to do it like a few years back, and I was like, wow. I used to just do this. I used to walk around the house like that as a kid. And nobody ever was like autistic? Question mark? Nobody. Everybody is just like, no, that's they're special. They're very special. But toe walking is a symptom.
No, I know.
But people, you don't mean it necessarily that literally.
Yeah, I know.
But I was literally toe.
Yeah. So autistic that you took an autistic trait and took it literally. More literally than it.
God. Also, it's so aggravating to me when it's like, I think about my life and I'm like, not a single fucking person ever truly wondered if I was gay. Like, the obsessions that I would have.
Well, I think you... That's... What do you call it? Willful...
Yeah. Like...
If you don't look at it, it's not there.
Like, I would just draw giant boobs.
Pardon? You would just draw giant boobs, yeah.
As a kid. And my mom was like, oh, you're not going to have...
That's never going to be you, honey.
Yeah, it doesn't run in the family. You're not going to have boobs. And I was so disappointed, and it really wasn't until I'd, ate a pussy that I was like, oh, I don't want boobs. I don't want boobs. I want to be on boobs. I don't want boobs to be on me. I don't want to... Yeah. I don't want to wear them. I want to wear them on my face. I was like, oh, my God.
Boobs are cute. No denying it. Boobs
anyway,
are
Yeah,
Cute.
aren't you? Yeah, so once AJ gets Et, then Keith goes looking for him. They realize that he wasn't alone, which is the whole thing of like they only attack
Right.
dudes who are alone, people who've never. And it really goes like it really takes it in directions that I was not expecting it
No,
to. And it
absolutely.
really kind of Dee Dee Pfeiffer's in it. I actually really liked her character. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the way she's playing it is very fun.
Yeah.
And it does a lot of like, I felt like there was work being done to not. I mean, maybe I'm just reading into it because I'm a whore, but like, by profession. But, you know, like, she is like a dancer, but like is newer. And
Is she a dancer though, or just a
yeah, there's
server?
She's a dancer. There's one time when she's on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But it's just in the background. You don't see her actually strip. So I'm sure she was like, I don't want to do it. But her character is like keep saying like he says something like
DD
Where-
5 foot doo doo.
oh shit.
Dorothy Diane.
Oh my god. Dee Dee Fifa Doo Doo. Stupid. Dee Dee Mega Foo Foo.
Pafufu. The fabulous faucet with the funny name. Do you remember those ads for Pfizer?
So why fiddle around? Get a price Vista, the fabulous faucet with a funny name.
What? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know why I saw those.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pfizer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Woo!
Disney's gonna fucking do a copyright infringement.
I know. Steamboat Willie coming for you.
I'm gonna piss my pants from the back. Remember that stupid elite taco bitch who had
God.
every fucking video was like, I
Yeah.
men love me because I'm like a golf course, like 9 holes, and all of them I don't know, but it was the worst.
Some pun about the back nine. A hole in one in the back nine or something. Yeah, it was not.
3 holes in one, and
And they're all
the back
open.
nine. Yeah, it's fucking so stupid. Oh my god. Anyway,
And apparently that's a whole genre of
I know it's really awful. My Instagram.
when you quit caring which hole.
No, I hate it so much. It's like when I turned 40, I stopped caring which hole they put it in, and I've never been happier. And I'm like, no, I don't. I feel like you said that wrong. I like it's like
I'm so desensitized down there. I can't tell what's going on, and it's the best time of my life.
exactly right. It's like you could say that better. You could be like. Like I'm all for like
I've
women.
lost all feeling below the waist.
I'm all for like girls being. I mean, legitimately,
Like-
be a fucking like go around the world every time. I don't care. Like that's fine. I have nothing against that. But like when you say it, like when you phrase it in a way that's like I stopped caring about myself. And you know what?
Right.
Guys love me for it. It's like, no, we don't need to do that. We don't need to talk like that. Like,
I died 6 months ago. Guys don't care.
there's another genre that's like this one I know a few people who like actively do this as their whole shtick for like to get people into their Instagram, and I'm like, please create something else once. And it's like I follow if you like, like big women who like to wear lingerie, and I'm like, fucking stop. Follow me if you're into, or like, most people don't like a woman over 50 liking sex. Are you follow me if you disagree with that or whatever.
Oh.
And I'm like, please shut up. But it's every single thing that they post is just this person, like, people don't like.
90% of
Yeah, exactly.
it's like those ads for games that
Yes,
are like 90%
legitimately.
of people over 12 won't get past level 2. Most people with an IQ of 60 or less.
can't solve level 16, but it's like that, but it's like every single genre is
And
like
then secret
someone's behind them with
about
it. Yeah.
to kill them. They're like, wait a minute, this game looks so compelling.
Yeah.
I'm covered in shit, and most of my hair was burned off.
covered in shit. Oh my god, which is basically what this movie turns into.
You're not wrong.
It's great though. It's
The
great.
King in Yellow, more like the King in Cockadoodie Brown.
The King in Yellow, what is that from?
The King in Yellow is a collection of stories, I guess.
Oh,
From
my
the
favorite.
late 1800s that are
About piss.
apparently where people like Lovecraft drew inspiration. Because one of the things is
So
like,
extremely racist.
yeah, it was, well, yellow. I mean,
Exactly.
no. Yeah, I don't really know. I tried listening to a LibriVox audiobook and back.
And well, let's just say
LibriVox more like I'm leaving through the.
box.
There it is. We nailed it.
We did.
Anyway. They're looking for AJ to find him.
In a trash can.
Oh, that's right. He gets chased. What happens? Oh, he somehow.
He just keeps getting they find out that they
Yeah, but how does he end up?
the albinos find him. The albino gang find him, and he's running from them. And
And they just want to
beat
hurt him because
because he
they're a bad gang.
I guess. And then
I love when the cops come to the club, though, and they're like, I don't want to be here, man. This is a shit neighborhood.
Oh, my stomach's all upset, thanks to you and your dead friend here. This is not a nice area, and I don't like coming to it. So before I lock you up, I want all three of you out of here. Go home.
I love any movie that, like,
Yes.
shits on cops like
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but also seems accurate.
Yeah.
Remember when we were reading, I think it was Beverly Hills Cops, when they're shooting the opening scenes in Detroit or whatever?
Oh yeah, and the cops.
The cops wouldn't follow the
Yeah.
crew to the
Oh my god.
shooting.
God. So. Yeah.
Cops wouldn't follow the crew to the shooting. That doesn't sound like what I mean. It sounds like something other than what I meant. He's out on the street. He's getting chased by
He's getting chased by the
gang.
albino gang, and then he hides in a dumpster, and there. I don't want to go into every single detail of everything because too much happens in this.
Well, yeah.
Constant things are happening in this movie, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it doesn't really take things slow. Like I was expecting. I mean, probably the slowest it takes things is like leading up to, Katrina attacking AJ, but like
Yeah.
it still is showing you Grace Jones stripping in that time period. So
Well,
you're
also
not bored.
her performance is amazing.
Oh my god. And everyone's just like
Stunned.
it's so good.
Apparently, the version in the movie of the song that she performs
It's the
to, that
only
she
one.
sings,
Yeah.
was never been released anywhere else.
Yeah.
She re-recorded it, but
like a very different version of
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so he ends up being able to call the cops, and they go back to the club because they have to get Duncan. And they go back to the club, and the cops are there. The cops come by, but AJ comes out, and he's like, yeah, it was just a joke. And so everyone's like, Keith is confused. The cops are pissed off because they're like, we got called for like a prank. Keith is upset because he's like, I didn't, AJ's like, oh man, like this is ridiculous. Like everybody's pissed at everyone else. It's very funny. But then one of the strippers tries to attack Keith. Like the cops leave and one of the strippers tries to attack Keith. And, she's a vampire. And he's like, what the fuck? And then AJ's like, yeah, bro, everyone here is a vampire. Like, and so am I. So you get the idea. I mean, they don't say this outright, but obviously because they say at one point, he's like, I'll bring the trash back in or something like that. Or he says, I'll go get the garbage or something. Like the Vic or whatever, who's so amazing.
Vic?
I don't know. I can't remember what his name was. But he's the guy, the lounge, guy that owns the lounge.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Amazing performance.
Yeah.
Amazing
character.
Loved. The way he did it, I was just like, very good. Like, very, very, you know what? He did very good. Let's see. Sorry.
No, I think you're right. It's Vic.
It is Vic. Ha. Yeah, he says something like he's going to go bring in the garbage or something. So the implication is that
Sandy Barron.
They got AJ's body out of the dumpster and brought him and like made him into a vampire. Which is interesting. So yeah, and then it just escalates from there. Then it turns into them trying to get out of the club alive. Dee Dee Pfeiffer and Keith and Duncan are all trying to get out. And it's just like one thing after another. They end up in the sewer. Duncan's a vampire. And then Grace Jones, when they finally have their big battle with Katrina and they kill her, all her skin melts off and she turns into a skeleton and then flips them off. Fucking it was so good. I mean, it was so good. Like this, so much happens, and like I know that that's the ending. And I just said all this. There's so much like.
Oh yeah.
There's so much more that so much happened in this movie. I was like, once she flips him off, I was like, perfect movie. I was like, we'll never see a movie this good again. And it's just like, there's just so much. Like, constantly something is happening.
Yeah.
But not in a fucking annoying way. Like, you're not constantly stressed out, like, oh my God, why are they making these choices? Yeah. Like, a lot of times, like, for me, like, I felt like the way that they responded to a lot of things seemed natural. He jumps into the sewer to get away from them, from the albino gang, and then he's just like trying to figure out how to get out of the sewer. Mm-hmm. But he's not doing anything stupid. He's like, if he sees something scary, he goes the opposite way. Yeah. He doesn't, he's just doing, but then later on, he's like, oh, I've been in the sewers, so I know my way around a little bit.
No, I was going to say that's one of its biggest strengths is that's storytelling.
Yeah.
And how the thing about the club being a vampire club and Vic being like, anybody want to claim this souse or whatever? Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see there's one, it's happening in the background. So it's after he says that the first time when he's like, oh, this guy, somebody let their friend get really drunk and just left him here. And it happens I don't know, a while later. It's not one right after the other. Mm-hmm. But you see one of the girls, she's with a guy, and then she just kind of they're in a booth, and she's she's like, you know, like with him or something. Like I didn't really see exactly what she was doing. Like I didn't know if she was dancing or if she was just like acting like she was talking to him. And then she lets him go and he just slumps over on the table and she looks over at Vic and she's just like, and Vic's like, hey, we got a guy over here.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's so good. Like they're letting you know that this is like, it's not just someone getting trashed. Like literally it's just, they drink a guy dry and then and then they're tossing him. I'm like, oh fuck. So like like shit like that, like it's stuff happening in the background. I'm like, for this being like sort of like a campy 80s vampire movie, so much detail.
The first time he's in the sewer, I'm like, this is the cleanest sewer I've ever seen.
Right.
And then, that's because it's the passageway from the club to their crypt.
Yeah.
It's not actually.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's, what do you say? It's abandoned. It's an abandoned system.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. It gets explained.
Yeah, like, right.
Just like the bullets.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, so much of it, like, so few, even today, like, or I would say especially today, so much will happen, and you're like, wait, I have, like, so many questions, and it's just like, you know, but, like, this is a campy-ass fucking vampire movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, we better cover all of our bases? Like, what the fucking
Well, that's
shit?
another thing is the humor is surprising.
Yeah.
Because the way it starts with a frat thing, you think it's going to be your 80s, you know.
Yeah.
There's a whole subgenre of, like, frat bro.
Yeah.
Pledge.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like Porky's and all those movies, right? Meatballs.
Right.
I mean, that started in the 70s, but by the 80s, it's... And even Real Genius to a certain extent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's abandoned immediately.
Exactly, right. Right.
Then you got the rich guy paying for friends, you know, it's like Can't Buy Me Love or whatever. You know,
well, they do a lot of stuff that's
it's like a John Hughes film for a minute, and but then the humor stays throughout, but it's very.
And they don't like abandon it in the sense of like you never hear about it again. It's just
that's
not actually where they're going. You think that's where they're going.
They're just kind of like garden paths.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was gonna say it's not red herring, it's something else. But it's like you're kind of expecting there to be a little bit like the twist that like it's gonna be a vampire movie. It's literally called Vamp.
Right.
You know. So you know that's gonna happen. You figure, they're going to a club right after, that only opens after sunset.
Right.
We got it. That's going to be
Dusk Till Dawn much?
Right. That's what we're going to be seeing. It's going to be a vampire club. But legitimately, I did not expect them. I mean, I know that he like comes back sort of, but like I did not expect.
Oh yeah, AJ, you mean?
AJ to get killed immediately. I was like, what? And like while he
dies, he's 2 deaths.
Right. And
basically.
While they, they bring him back and he has but it's not like a clean thing. Like he's not like, oh, maybe I'm not going to turn, because sometimes they'll do the thing of like, oh, the rules are if you don't feed before midnight, you won't turn into a vampire, shit like that.
You have to bury him in the ground.
Yeah.
Like the True Blood one?
You have to in True Blood it is you feed them your blood.
Oh, that's right.
Like you take their blood, you feed them your blood, and then you bury them underground. I think you have to be with them though.
Buried?
Yeah. You have to be buried with them. They don't just turn on their own. And then but I was expecting a little bit of it being like, oh, I'm not fully a vampire. Like I haven't fed or like I haven't, no, he's a vampire. Like he's just, a new vampire and he even says that when
I got a list somewhere.
Yeah. That's the other thing. He was like, this does the, and you were like, oh, he just knows that. And he's like, I got a list somewhere that they gave me.
They got me. They had an answer for all my.
Yeah. But it was, I really liked the part with Keith and AJ where he was like, I'm hungry. He's like, and I'm going to feed on you. And Keith is like, okay, then take what you need.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not going to be able to stop.
Right,
he's
right.
like, I don't have that. He's like, I don't really have impulse control anymore,
Right.
so I'm not going to be
Yeah,
able
he's
to
like,
do
I
that.
love you, but all I see is food.
Right. And it's like,
It's nice. It's almost as tender as the moment in Night of the Creeps.
yes. It's this moment of like, these two guys that are joining a fraternity are talking about, you know, what they're willing to give up for the other in this moment.
Yeah.
And like that's really, and it's not like there's nothing added to that. There's nothing taken from that. There's nothing.
Right.
There's no like, well, if you look at it in this context, no, it's legitimately just them being like, you know, like kind of arguing over like.
Not a screen in sight.
But it's them kind of arguing over like which one's gonna die for the other one,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
And it's just like, damn,
Yeah.
you know? And yeah, I don't know. There was just a lot of it that was like throughout the movie where they would have moments like that where you're like, not expected. Like
Well, the whole thing with Dee Dee's character, what
Yeah.
the fuck is she called? Veronica? No.
she's called
Allison / Amaretto.
Amaretto, that's what it was. I couldn't remember.
I never heard her called Amaretto.
She says that like when she's giving them drinks at first. She's like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
Amaretto,
but that's
but
not
you're-
really. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like-
I'm Amaretto. Not really.
But the whole thing of her recognizing
Right,
Keith and trying to...
Yeah.
She spins the bottle and she's like... And he's like... and she's just like...
She's so mad. Yeah, but all of that, like, you expect it to, like, I thought it was going to be something. It's just straightforward. Like, she's
Yeah.
pissed at him that he doesn't remember playing spin the
Right.
bottle with
in
her.
the 5th grade or whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, this is amazing. And
Yeah.
she's like, I can't believe you don't remember. He's like, oh, you know, finally when he,
We
you
shared
know.
a moment.
Yeah. But, like, her character, this is what I was saying, though, about, like,
Uh-huh.
earlier when she does a lot to, like, because he says something about candy and he's like, where would a girl like that go? And she's like, you mean a girl like me?
Uh-huh.
You know, and
Right.
she's very much like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and they do a lot where they don't like, they like sort of, I don't want to say humanize her because, I mean, she's the only human stripper I think that they have for one.
Right.
But like, it's, I don't know. They just do a lot to like, what's shocking isn't that they're strippers, it's that they're vampires. What's jarring isn't that their tits are out, it's that they have fangs. Like a lot of these things,
Yeah.
it's like, it's
Yeah.
like they're normalizing a lot. Like, and like the shit where there's no mirrors in the club.
Oh,
there
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah.
mirrors in the club anywhere. But there's a scene where these girls are doing each
other's
other's
makeup.
fucking makeup in what looks like a. It's like
It
it looks like
a
it's
vanity.
supposed to be a
Yeah.
mirror. But it, oh my God. And like, I didn't get it. Like, it didn't
Right.
register at the time.
I didn't get it until you said it right now.
And I was like, oh my God. And then, yeah, at one point, AJ's like, I can't even see myself in the mirror right now, but there's no mirror there. So he's,
Right.
you know what I'm going to say next? Would you recommend?
Yeah, brah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I mean, I've already seen Queen of the Damned, and we still have Lair of the White Worm, which I also know nothing about, except for the few the few minutes that I saw of the beginning. That screenshot of oh God, what's his name? Not Hugh Grant, the other one that's in it. Peter Capaldi. Peter
Oh.
Capaldi being like holding a dinosaur and being like, ah. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what happens there, but
You predicting this is going to be your
yeah,
favorite?
I feel like I'm like this is going to be the standout. If it's not my
It'll definitely be the standout.
yeah,
Or
like it's the one that's the most surprising.
favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I will say Salem's Lot, like going over doing like the slideshow and stuff. I was like, yeah, there was a lot in this movie, especially comparatively
Yeah, totally.
to the remake.
I was going to say, watching
It was watching the remake. I was like, the 70s
Okay,
one
all
did
right.
great. But now I just want to watch the fucking 2004 one.
Well, yeah.
Rob Lowe, show me what you got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend this. if you like vampire movies, if you like 80s lighting, if you like I mean, this is what I was a little bit worried because it was like comedy horror, and I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. I
Right.
think Lara the White Worm is that too. I know.
Really?
But I might be wrong.
You
And
could be right.
I'm not usually a fan of comedy horror.
Yeah.
That's going to be more off-putting than anything. It's got to be a horror movie first
Right.
and have comedy in it second.
Right.
And I feel like this does
That.
work that way. And it's not like a crazy horror movie. Like it's not gonna,
Right.
but it does a lot of, I guess it was like almost not released in Canada, was it?
Yeah.
And they had to like, they appealed it and they got like,
Ontario, at least.
yeah, they appealed it and it was like, like unrated or something. I can't remember, but
Restricted.
yeah. But that's really interesting. I'm like, wow, it seems pretty tame as far as horror movies go. But I'm like, yeah, like there's just boobs everywhere all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it's also not like that's something that's really, really
Yeah.
interesting is that like they do a lot to make you feel like that's just normal.
Right. It's titillating, but it's a titty bar. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's a
but
strip
that's what
joint,
I mean.
so
Yeah,
it's not like...
everybody's so used to it that, and
And
that's
the
like,
scene where Katrina bites
yeah,
AJ
Yeah.
is, a seduction.
yeah,
But, it's clearly... And, I don't know. She's not nude.
yeah.
She's scantily clad, for sure. But
She's wearing wires.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and her fucking Grace Jones amazing in this.
Yes.
Like really did something with her performance. But every single scene that she is in, there is not a single scene that she's in where her hair and clothing and accessories,
Yeah.
headgear, whatever,
Yeah.
are the same.
Yeah.
Like literally like every
Scene
time
that she's in is
if it
different.
if it's not the same exact scene,
Right.
she's wearing something different. Her hair is different. She's got a new headpiece on. She's got some sort of attachment to her wire bra. Like it doesn't matter. It's all different. And it was like I kind of love shit like that where like I think it does a lot more to add to the sort of like other reality that you're stepping into.
Yeah.
When like every time you see a character, even if the implication is that like almost no time has passed, they look different. Like their makeup they did their makeup different. They changed their clothes. In reality, different scene, different day, none of that actually, happened as quickly, obviously. But within that world, you're like, oh, how did that happen so quickly? And so it gives you this sense of like, oh, what? Like, did something happen that I don't know about? Like, is more time going? It adds some sort of like uncanniness to everything. So I really appreciate it. Like, even when she like does her set, her complete body paint, her entire body is painted, her face is painted, she's wearing a red wig, all that shit. She goes off stage, and then AJ, like 2 minutes later, goes to meet her, sees her, no paint, different wig, no face makeup,
Right.
like all of it's completely
All
different.
this the same as she's got the same wire bikini.
Yeah, right. Amazing. So, yeah, there was just like a lot of detail in her performance that I really liked. The fact that she could have such a presence without actually, like, Grace Jones, I guess, did not want to speak.
Right.
Like, she chose to have her character not have any dialogue.
Right.
Otherwise, I probably would be like, that's a little weird.
Oh, yeah.
But if that being her choice, it's also really impressive that for having no dialogue, her character is like the main character, and everyone talks about her. Everyone's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Like and I know that her name's Katrina because it's said enough. Like there's never a moment where you don't feel like the movie doesn't kind of revolve around her character, you know?
Right. Well, and there's all the allusions to
Yeah.
ancient Egyptian
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is great. Like, I'm all for this. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, it was
And
way,
Vlad.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Vlad. And his back, amazing. Like,
I just like when he has the little picture and it's
Yeah.
a drawing.
yeah. And yeah. It was really good. I don't want to say I was surprised. I knew it was going to be interesting, but I didn't.
I was surprised.
I don't think I expected it to be as detailed as it was. I think that's really what.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than.
Yeah, like, just things just kept happening throughout, and there was always twists and turns and something happening. And I honestly didn't know, like, I didn't know if they were going to get out of situations at times. I was
Yeah.
like, I honestly, I can't tell with this movie. I'm like, they already killed AJ. I don't fucking know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they killed him twice. I
Right.
don't know what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, there was just like a lot to the movie that I feel like really impressed with. So yeah, it was good.
Thumbs up, guys. Well done.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, getting Grace Jones really does elevate
Right.
it. I mean, I'm sure it would have been a great movie if it hadn't been her, but I mean, also the fact that, you know,
Oh yeah.
presumably all her attire and stuff was because of her connections.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I kind of love stuff like that because I'm like, that shows
I
you-
love she was willing to
Yeah, exactly.
pull those strings or
Right,
call in
right,
those
right.
favors or whatever
Yeah.
for this little film.
Little film.
That
And-
was no guarantee anybody would see.
I was thinking about like this scene where she's like seducing AJ or whatever. I was honestly like, I can't imagine like being in a role like that and just like being cool and chill about it.
Her, you mean?
No, him. Like, I'd be like, like I would
Oh,
not
yeah.
be like.
He's
I'm
probably
like, how
drunk.
I'm like, how do you act? I would be like,
I know.
I'd be just like nervously laughing. They'd be like, this is our 15th take.
It's like when you go to the doctor and the nurse puts her crotch on your hand. You were possessed by the Horla.